In a world that often celebrates flashy symbols of success, it's refreshing to see leaders who chart their own course and create their own path. So in this video, I'm going to talk about such a leader who is focused on wealth building and legacy building, but charting their own course in such a way that makes them stand out. And I'm relating it to your wealth building journey and owning your financial narrative. If you haven't subscribed yet, then subscribe now and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I'm sharing wealth building concepts and legacy building and financial freedom tips that gear towards Black women in STEM. I'm Shehara Wooten, an electrical and computer engineer who graduated from The Ohio State University, and I ended up changing careers, and now I'm a certified financial planner professional who is focused on helping to close the racial wealth gap and to do my part, and I'm specifically focusing on Black women in STEM. Recently, I watched a video. It went viral. It was an NFL player named A.J. Brown. He plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he went viral because he was actually coming out of his car. He was driving a Honda. Now, he recently signed a deal, and I believe it was like an extension. It was a 3-year deal for $96 million. It included a guarantee plus a bonus, and I just thought, I see why, yeah, we're all looking at you, because most people having such a deal, they're going to purchase a luxury vehicle. So I want to talk about that kind of mindset and how it relates to how you're going to show up on your wealth building journey, because there's so many things coming at us. There's so many temptations, and it's easy to go off track when you get that new bonus, or when you get that raise, or you get, a big time promotion, or you change jobs and you get this major increase. It's really easy to buy things that may not fully align with your overall vision for your wealth building journey. So I just really loved that video, and we're going to talk a little bit about breaking down how that would relate to us and the decisions we make. So it really is a mindset shift. So what I'm going to do, I will break this down into 7 different parts that I feel are super key to keeping focused and staying true to your values as you are generating and growing wealth. Now, the first key I want to talk about is authenticity over trends. Now, A.J. Brown is a prime example of that. I mean, he chose to drive a Honda. It looks like a Honda Accord. I can't completely verify that, but if you guys, those car enthusiasts, you guys tell me in the comments, what is it? But it's basically a Honda. And he decided to go against the trends, go against what society tells you should do if you have $96 million. He can purchase a luxury vehicle and there's no problem, but he chose not to. And so I am really curious, like, what his values are and what his vision is, but you don't have to fall for what the society tells you should do once you reach a certain status or you have a certain amount of funds. You can very well do what you just believe is important to you rather than following the trends. Now, the next one leads us to number 2, which is to avoid the herd mentality. It's very similar, I believe, but what I want you to really think about when it comes to avoiding the herd mentality is to thinking independently and to not fall in line with what everybody is doing. I remember as a kid, whether it was a teacher or it was a parent, it's like, okay, if everybody is running off the cliff, are you going to do that too? And you're like, no. And you realize, like, no, I need to understand there's power in thinking independently. And it takes some time for you to close off all the noise, forget about the distractions, and think about what is it that you really want deep down inside. Thinking about your history, thinking about the people that you are called to serve and help. It makes you think creatively. And I love the term being industrious, right? Because being industrious opens you up to creativity, a whole new world. I often found when they say necessity is the mother of invention, it allows you to start to do things that people may not have thought of, but now it's helping others. It also reminds me of the scripture, and it escapes me right now, like what the exact scripture is, but it reminds me of that he will give us witty ideas and inventions. And I think that sometimes getting those ideas and inventions requires us to think independently, get away from the noise and the trends that we've talked about thus far. Number 3 would be to embrace delayed gratification. You know, we're in a society, and it's been said many, many times before, that it's a microwave society. Like, we want it and we want it now. And we're all guilty of that. But just imagine the fortitude that it takes to not need it right away. Because wealth building takes time. It's not a get rich quick. And, you know, it is be very intentional. It's all about focus and vision and just really empowering yourself to know that, okay, there might be hiccups along the way, but I'm going to, for the prize that's before me, that's set before me, it's so much, it's more worth it for me to wait and really enjoy that. And that's going to allow you to, one, enjoy the journey along the way, but also to enjoy the vision that you have and the imagination, the process of imagining, like, what is life going to be like when I hit that goal. It's going to be so exciting. And so that is, I believe, super important. And it's not very popular, obviously, to have delayed gratification, but there is a benefit to it because you can savor the joy of the accomplishment. And how about this? Number 4, maintain laser focus and alignment. When you don't follow the trends, when you don't follow the herd, you can maintain that vision that you have. Like, take, for instance, if you wanted to save $10,000 in a year, which is doable. It amounts to about $27 and some change. I believe it's $27.40 a day to over $192 a week, and then about $833 and some change a month. So when you think about that, you're like, okay, well, what do I do? What do I need to eliminate? What do I need to add? So maybe I need to eliminate certain expenses that no longer serve you, and they're going to take away from you being able to reach that goal of getting to 10K in 12 months. Or maybe you have to consider a side hustle, monetizing that hobby for a little bit, or monetizing it to the point where it becomes the business because it's doing so well. Or you can even consider, because you are so laser focused, that you're just going to sell some items around the house that no longer are needed, but they have some value because you are that important, right? You're that important. You're that focused as well. We're talking about laser focus. You're that focused on getting to the prize that's set before you because you want it so badly. You're going to do the things and you're going to get into make it happen mode. That's what you do. That's what we've always done. And so it makes you even think about your projects at work and, you know, being an engineer, being a scientist. You're like, okay, we're going to solve this problem. And we're going to look at all of our resources. We're going to look at what is it that I need to bring in? What is it that I need to leave out? It all goes hand in hand. And the same thing goes with wealth building. Number 5 is going to be thinking about the fact that you are a STEM professional, is applying STEM principles. You're constantly iterating, you're analyzing, you're making updates based on the data that you have. You're going to be doing that throughout your journey of building wealth. You're going to use the data that you're provided. And I have tools. A lot of the folks in our exclusive Wealth Gap Closers community, we use tools to monitor our wealth, to understand what's my savings rate, what's my debt rate, what is my spending rate, and how can I increase that just incrementally, just keep increasing it and monitor that. And then look at how you've done that. If you start at 2% savings rate, then how can you increase that to 5% by the end of this quarter? But you got to know your numbers. You got to understand and analyze, just like you do with any projects that you're working on at work. You've got to do that with your own personal finances and understand that there's tools and resources out there to help you do that. So I think that is super important to understand and constantly update and tweak as necessary. You just got to put it on the scientist hat. And one thing may not work this month. Well, next month, try something else, because you've got to make it happen. You've got to make it so that you do what you need to do. And again, there's going to be all this noise and all these things of like, oh, well, I'm an engineer, or I'm this and I'm supposed to be making this. Or I've had people tell me, okay, I'm 45 and I just believe that I'm supposed to have a BMW or a luxury car because that is the age. And I feel like I deserve that. Well, you've worked hard and I agree, you do deserve it. But I also want you to look at, is it more important than me reaching those goals, those financial independence goals that I have, so that I can get that later on down the line? Maybe now is not the time. Maybe 35, 25, 45, maybe it's not the time, because you've got other things that you want to accomplish and that those funds could go towards, so that you could have something even better down the line. So what are your thoughts? Have you ever gone against the crowd to gain something that you really want, or to do something that is really important to you? I think that's important. So go ahead, drop a comment below, because I think AJ Brown, like I said, he's gone viral because it's just so against the norm. Number 6 is develop a wealthy mindset. Accumulating wealth isn't just about the money. It really isn't. It's about developing discipline, having smart decision making, and being persistent about the vision that you have. One of the things that I've come to realize, and actually I had to learn this, that life doesn't operate at a 45-degree angle where everything just goes up, 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 and up. Sometimes you have setbacks. Sometimes you have to pivot. Sometimes you have to circle back. If you know what I'm talking about, leave a comment below. Just put a circle in the comment section below, because it's not just a 45-degree angle. And many of us might have this idea that life should just go like that, but it doesn't. Eventually it does, and eventually you will win if you stick it out and you're persistent, you have the smart decision making. Eventually it does work out, but understand and have that wealthy mindset that things will change, and it may not always go the way that you want it to go. You learn from the lesson. And what I have come to find out is that my setbacks have been a setup for my comeback. Number 7 is build for generations. I can't help but to think that somebody who is at the level of success and wealth that AJ Brown is, that they can't possibly be just thinking about themselves when they're driving in their Honda. Which is an excellent car, reliable car, will last forever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that he could have purchased that was luxury and very expensive, and had some sort of status symbol associated with it. So I can't help but to think that he thought about building for generations, and building for generations. It also makes me think about a quote that a pastor that I used to attend his church back when I used to live in Philadelphia used to say. He said, vision is seeing further than you can look. So you see all this stuff ahead of you, but your vision goes beyond what's right here. It's seeing past that. Like, if you were to look at an ocean and look at the horizon, it's like if you look beyond the horizon, that's seeing further than you can look. Like, your imagination starts to kick in, and you start to envision things in your mind that you may not even have conceived based off of the things that you're looking at and that you actually see in person. So really build for generations. So if you want to dig into this further, then I want to offer you a values exercise. And this will allow you to pick your top 10 values. And then now you're going to make good financial decisions, because now your values are going to be aligned with your vision, which will be aligned with the actions that you're going to take that will make you stay focused as you are on your wealth building journey. So if that is something you want, then go ahead and look in the description, and I will be sure to put the link in there. If you found this video to be helpful, then please go ahead and subscribe, and feel free to share this with a friend. I am also offering appointments and a strategy session for Black women in STEM. So please reach out to me in the comments section, and I'll be sure to share with you how you can gain access. Be a blessing.